J-E-T-S,
Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
and the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Let's talk Jets. The week of our first preseason game, and we have a Let's Talk Jets exclusive here as Bubs went to the Green and White Scrimmage. So that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to all this because now, it seems like football season's getting into full swing now, man. It's like training camp starts like, all right, they're not in pads yet. But now it's like we're playing games now, and there's injuries piling up, unfortunately, too. So a lot to talk about, man. So Bubs, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Thank you for having me back on. Yeah, it's football's back. Game week. I know it's not, regular season, but still got a game this Saturday night back at Lambeau under the lights. So looking forward to it. Glenn with the headset on for the first time. Should be a lot of fun. And then next week, joint practices, 2 days against the Giants, once in Florham Park, and then obviously up at the Giants facility with the preseason game as well. So get a lot of takeaways from that, see what they look like against another team. So yeah, it's early August. Things really start to ramp up. I think this Sunday is 4 Sundays away. So I think it's officially 1 month from this upcoming weekend. So yeah, it's exciting times for sure. Things are starting to speed up here.
Chris, thank you for your very kind words, dude. Definitely appreciate it. And then David, happy birthday, dude. 60th birthday. That's awesome, too. So happy birthday to David.
Happy birthday.
So now, did you see, before we go into the training camp, did you see Aaron Glenn's press conference where he talked about hearing the Jets chant at practice and how it kind of hit him? And it's like, I did a video about this, but it was like, we talked about Rex Ryan wanting this job so badly. Rex's energy and his passion. A lot of fans wanted that. And you wanted like a disciplinarian guy as well. It seems like you're getting the best of both worlds where you're getting a guy that desperately wanted this job, has so much pride and passion for the job, but he also has that discipline nature too, which we look for as well.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. And there was a couple of Jets chants on Saturday. The energy in the crowd was definitely pretty high that day. But yeah, it's cool. And like you said, Rex brought that, and it's just something special about that as a Jet fan, wanting a guy that wanted to be here. This was his dream job. This was his perfect opportunity. And there's something about that that's different from obviously some of these previous coaches, most recently Saleh, that didn't work out here. You're getting that guy that loves his fan base and can understand this fan base too. He was here for that turnaround. He understands what this fan base has gone through. A couple press conferences ago, he said how he still kind of felt like a ghost around this building, understanding all the struggles that they have gone through, even though, of course, he was in Detroit and New Orleans during this time. But yeah, it's awesome to see. And disciplinarian, like you mentioned, running practice is totally different than what we've seen. And also understanding what this fan base wants. And there's something to that this is his dream job. And does that mean he's going to have success? No, but it's a good start. There's something to that. Yeah, definitely good start.
Glad you like the setup. That's what we're here for. We're trying to evolve here. Like I try to keep changing. Like Bubs has all these fancy neon lights and all this cool shit. I'm just trying to get through all this. You know what I mean? But what I like about this is you actually went to the practice. So you've been to a bunch of practices and you've been there when Saleh. So now you can kind of compare and contrast what's going on. And this was the scrimmage where they did a lot of live drills, game drills, situational drills. So it's like pads are on. Now you can kind of assess what we're actually seeing. And you see some good, you see some bad. I think the key is we can't overreact because it's friggin' late July, early August. And you don't panic now. You panic in late August. This is still happening where you're watching preseason games and there's penalties all over the place and everything else. But I think from the outside looking in, I think the biggest story, the biggest takeaway from Saturday was the penalties, right?
Yeah. It was a rough show. They were in midseason form for sure. 12 penalties on Saturday and a lot of really tough ones. There was a couple, false starts, couple holdings. But the pre-snap, like I mentioned, the false start was a big one, a couple of those. And then one of the most frustrating ones was They went out for the field goal attempt with Nick Folk, and it was a delay game. And it was going to be a 38-yard field goal.
Oh.
Took the delay game, moved it back, 43-yard field goal. Nick Folk ended up missing that. And those are the little things in games that'll kill you. A delay game on a field goal that pushes it back a couple yards. And as opposed to hitting one inside of 40, you've got to go 40 plus now, and you miss it. That's going to kill you in a close game, 3 points, whatever. Those are the difference, those little margins. And just a lot of big plays that were taken away from penalties. I think it was a big Brees run that was taken away, called back because of a penalty. There was a couple nice passes from Fields as well that was taken away. A couple holdings behind the play, once the play developed. Yep. That stuff can't happen during the season. And look, that happened on August 2nd. Good thing that wasn't happening. Yep. It's not happening on September 7th, hopefully, when they take on the Steelers. So you do have to take it with some of the context. Like you mentioned, it's still early, and you'd rather those things happen now than during the season. But just looking at that, things that can happen during the games and things that have been happening. And you now have to look moving forward in the preseason games, in these upcoming practices. Joint practice as well against the Giants will be another big step for them to try and clean these things up. But I was just sitting there and kind of thinking about how last year they had no refs, and all of the things that they were getting away with no refs, like all of the holds that they were probably having last year in practice, nobody knew about it because there was no refs. And that is kind of the positive twist on it, is now they have to understand and do understand what's going on. And Glenn even mentioned it. Some of the holds they feel is a technique issue with some of those guys, and you hope that this coaching staff can coach some of that up. But yeah, the delay games of fall starts, that's just mental stuff that can't happen and plagued them last year. And
this is going to sound strange, but I'll explain it. I'm almost glad it did happen. I'm glad that we saw that sloppiness, because now Coach Glenn could be like, all right, here's how we're going to clean this up. Let's not get overconfident, think we're better than we are. Now we're showing what we were last year, a very heavily penalized team. Mm-hmm. And now we have a chance to improve it. Now you can set your standard. Okay, what we saw today is not acceptable. Now we're going to show you how to fix it. If you continue to make this mistake, then we make a change. So that's it's a learning opportunity. And that's what training camp is, dude. You got to figure new team, new scheme, new players. Everybody's trying to figure out new quarterback. There's a lot of things going on here, but now it's like new voices, new play caller, everything. So it's like, okay, you went through it, you made all your mistakes. Now you have a month to clean it up. That's the challenge for the team. And then you can say, like, as you see it, when you have a preseason game on Saturday, when you have joint practices, if this becomes a trend, then it's a legitimate problem. If you're seeing a lot of different things, then it's okay. So I'm not in panic mode yet. You also have the fact that the defenses are always ahead of the offense right now. This time of year, always, dude. No matter what team it is, you watch training camp reports, it's always the same way. So I'm like, okay, you see that. So in terms of the penalties, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't happy about it, but it's like, okay, Glenn addressed it. He's he's on top of it. He was very direct about what was going on. But looking at the offense, I think the one thing people are trying to see is, where is Justin Fields right now? Is he developing? Then you see the passing stats, you're like, oof, that didn't look good. But then you say, okay, you mentioned it. Like, we're so quick to look at, he was, say, 2 of 16. But then you have, there was drop passes. There was plays that he did make pulled back by a penalty. So, there's a lot of, the one thing I like about Aaron Glenn, he doesn't sugarcoat things. If there is plays that are out there, he's like, listen, you can say he was 2 of 10, but we're going to ignore the 4 plays that he did make that his team held him back too. So we got to criticize him fairly, objectively, and not just keep kind of shitting on him. You know what I mean? So what was your take on Justin Fields?
Yeah, and I just before I get to that, I'm glad you mentioned that part with Glenn, because even Glenn talked about it today with Fields. He's seen some good. Obviously, the legs are the biggest thing, but he mentioned he's made some plays that he are impressive, and he's also had some plays that they've had drops, whatever, penalties, whatever it's been, and there's also been some plays where he's missed, and like you said, I like that out of him. Not everything's sunshine and rainbows like it was with Saleh. It's honesty. Yep. In terms of Fields, the athleticism and his mobility is clearly, just watching it in person, it's totally different, obviously, than what we've had the last 2 years, and it's just so elite. I mean, he had one of the plays, he ran 25 yards. It looked like it would have been a touchdown. In a scrimmage, it was a touchdown. There is a good chance in a real game he probably would have had to slide down. The defenders obviously kind of avoid him, just not hitting him, but had a couple really nice runs. Also had another run during red zone drills that he would have gotten in a real game scenario as well. So mobility was on full display. In terms of the passing, still some room that he needs to work on. And there was some drops. Mason Taylor had a drop. There was a couple nice plays by the secondary. Brandon Stevens continues to pop out. He's had a nice summer. Sauce made a couple plays. I just think watching Fields on Saturday and even some of the other practices, there's just some plays where if Garrett's not open, you're not seeing a ton of separation from some of the other guys.
That's the concern.
And that's one of the concerns you have with this wide receiver core is trying to find somebody behind Garrett. Josh Reynolds has done that so far, but he limped off on Saturday. He didn't practice the entire day.
Yep.
And you're still waiting to see. Yeah, Arian Smith's done some good things. Yeah, you've seen some good things from Tyler Johnson, but it hasn't totally been enough. And there's been a couple of those plays, again, putting context to the incompletions. There was a couple just throwaways where nobody was open and you kind of just have to throw it away, plays dead. Now, again, that's what's interesting about training camp is in a real game scenario, they could be telling him, look, stay in the pocket, let the play develop. In a real game, he probably takes off on some of those and picks up, play yards with his legs. So that's tough to gauge, but it's just you would like to see a couple of those plays where Garrett's not open, more somebody else open on the offense, because there was a couple of those plays where Garrett wasn't open and the play kind of just died out. I mean,
that's my biggest fear, dude. It's because it's like you talk about it, because like to me it's like you have Garrett Wilson, you have a running back out of backfield, you have Mason Taylor, because Josh Reynolds now banged up. You're gonna count on what Alan Lazard, Corley, Gibson's hurt now. It's like, and that was been my fear for the last 4 months of you don't want Justin Fields dropping back to pass and nobody's open. And then it's like, then can Tanner Engstrand, be creative with scheme? Is it going to be scheme? Is it going to be play calling? Or is it going to be Justin Fields running, 17 times a game? Like how do they offset that? And the one thing is they know they're not making it a secret. They're going to run the football. They want to run the football, which is great. But guess what? The defense knows that as well. Like they're going to say, okay, we're going to stack the box and try to set the edge and see if you can beat us with your arm. And can Justin Fields do that consistently? And can guys get open consistently? And that's what you said right there gives me anxiety attacks, because I fear that, this wide receiver group is not going to be able to consistently support this quarterback.
Yeah, that's the big question. And there was one play to Tyler Johnson that I vividly remember across the middle. It looked like a miscommunication. And that's something that you iron it out during training camp because Fields just overthrew him by a ton. And I think he might have cut maybe quicker than he thought. Maybe he was expecting him to run more of, a post or whatever. But and Fields and Tyler Johnson after the play with Engstrand were kind of talking over it. So those little things still want to get those ironed out, the chemistry with those guys while learning a new offense, and Fields just himself trying to work on things himself,
right?
That he's obviously struggled with so far in his career. But yeah, I mean, Mason Taylor wasn't practicing today either, and they had a bit of a rough day. It feels like Garrett, Mason Taylor's got a good camp, did have a drop in the scrimmage, but drops are going to happen.
Yep.
And Breece Hall, who they've made a very heavy effort to get him involved as a receiver. Glenn mentioned that, just letting him do his thing as a receiver, also as a running back, which is nice to hear because the incompetence we've had the last couple of years didn't know Breece could catch the football. But yeah, it's Breece, Mason Taylor, Garrett, and then it's that drop off. I like Reynolds, what I've seen from him, but is he really a wide receiver too? On a team that is going to hopefully be competitive and do some good things, probably more likely a wide receiver 3.
So, but the question I have for you is, in terms of Fields, is he erratic with his passing? Is he like a Zach Wilson erratic, or is he just a little bit like what's the definition of his passing being inconsistent?
I would say no. I don't think he's erratic where he's just missing guys. He does have the tendency to hold on to the football. You see that. If guys aren't open, and like I said, maybe it's them telling him stay in the pocket, let the play develop. In some of these scenarios, take off the run in a real game. But he does have the tendency where if nobody's open, he just there was a couple of times where he was just kind of holding on to it, and then it was a throwaway or a pressure or whatever. In terms of his passing, though, I mean, he's had a couple nice plays. The practice I was at a week ago, he had a nice ball to, I think it was Tyler Johnson down the sideline where he put it right into the breadbasket. Him and Garrett, you could still tell have some nice chemistry going back from their college days. He didn't look terrible.
You're not inspiring me right now, dude. You're not inspiring me at all.
The legs are obviously his strength. He's got some room to grow, no doubt. But I don't think all these struggles have been on him. I mean, there's been some drops. There's been some. Nobody's open.
Does he let it rip when he throws it, or is he thinking? Remember, with Zach, you could see Zach was literally thinking before he threw the football because he was so overwhelmed that couldn't figure shit out. Is he like that, or he's
No, I mean, if his guy's there, it's confident. I don't get that point of like he hesitates where somebody's open and he kind of has to do a double take. I don't view that.
But
I think
here's a good question from Afram. Was the offense more in sync with Tyrod than it was with Fields?
At times, but there was still a ton of penalties from second team perspective as well.
But was the passing game more fluid though?
Yeah, I mean Tyrod
he's trying to cause a controversy here.
He had a couple. Stone Smart actually had a good practice. Tyrod and Stone Smart were connected.
Really?
I think Stone Smart had 2 touchdowns actually. He had a couple good days now in a row. But no, I don't like Tyrod wasn't lighting it up by any means.
All right, so Fields he's a work in progress. I think we all know that. I think again, it's like I don't want to analyze it too much because it's August 4th. Like they're just literally in pads for the first time. They're getting ready for the first preseason game. It's like there's going to be some growing pains, going to be some learning curve. Yeah. And you're making a really good point too. I think they may be saying stay in the pocket and go through your progressions and see what you can find. But his natural instinct in the game is take off. Like read one, read two, go because you can. That's going to be a big difference. Now the tight end group is interesting because Mason Taylor, everybody loves him. He's now hurt, which is unfortunate. He didn't practice. We don't know how serious it is. The depth chart came out, and Ruckert was one. To me, that was Aaron Glenn trying to motivate Mason Taylor, saying, listen, man, you got to earn the starting spot. We're not going to hand it to a rookie. I think that's the kind of game to play with him because Ruckert is playing better, I'll ask you that, but I still think he's a work in progress as a receiver. And then you have Stone Smart, who was 3 that you since had a good practice. So maybe, do you think maybe the tight end group is not as bad as I think it is, or is it still wait and see?
It's still, to me, I think you want to see preseason joint practice, especially preseason for guys like Ruckert, all 3 of them really, because Taylor will get some run as well as a rookie. But Taylor's going to be the starter, obviously. Ruckert's not going to be number 1. It's definitely going to be Mason Taylor. I like what I've seen from Stone Smart. He's had a couple good practices now in a row. He had a touchdown Friday. Saturday, he had a couple touchdowns. Today, I think he had another touchdown actually from Fields because Tyrod didn't practice. So
is he explosive? Like what kind of player is he? Is he explosive? Is he more of a physical guy? Like what is he?
Yeah, I mean he's big. He's like a bigger slot, honestly, as a tight end. Like he's not really your typical blocking tight end. He's definitely a receiving threat.
Okay.
I think Ruckert's actually had a decent summer, I would say. He's made some plays from a receiving perspective, which obviously you haven't really seen through the first 3 years. But I think there's a real chance if Stone Smart continues producing and has a good preseason, he could be the number 2 behind Mason Taylor, depending on how much they value that receiving upside that he has, because he's not a blocker. Ruckert's more your blocker.
Yep.
He's got short hands, though. I mean, I haven't seen any drops from him. He's been reliable when he's been targeted and he's gotten the opportunities with the second team. I like what I've seen from him.
All right, so you're encouraged by him. Now, what's been the rap on Malachi Corley?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the notes that I have here. Didn't do a ton Saturday. He had a couple receptions from, I think it was Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook. He had a couple, I think he's plateaued maybe a bit. I think he started pretty strong. Yeah. He's had some flashes here and there, but nothing to me where he has completely stood out. Like he hasn't had a great summer. I don't know. It's you look at what the five.
Bubs, this is a show about honesty. Don't sugarcoat shit here. Just call it like you see it and we'll be fine.
No, yeah. I just think Corley, he hasn't separated himself enough from what we saw rookie year in terms of like, he's had this great summer, year 2 jump in this offense. Sure, he's caught a couple passes. He's made a couple plays, but it's still not enough to believe that this guy could emerge as, let's say, a number 3, or I don't think anybody saw this coming, but a number 2. Right. You haven't seen that huge jump. It hasn't been bad. I mean, he hasn't tanked his stock, but he's really hasn't given much, upwards stock towards it at all either.
So then if you look at so the other thing we really haven't talked about is the offensive line where you have 2 young tackles and Olu and Membu trying to figure it out. John Simpson out with an injury makes things a little bit interesting because that's like, and Aaron Glenn's like, he's another week. Like he's not even sure like a day or 2. He's like, he's out for a week. So now they're kind of shifting their line around a little bit where that whole Titman Myers thing is getting interesting because now it's like, all right, you're going to move Myers the guard, Tippmann the guard.
Mhm.
Like, and then Aaron Glenn talked about it today. He's like, it's a fierce competition. So it's not like
Yeah.
a slam dunk. Tippmann's getting it. That's interesting to me, dude.
Yeah, it's Glenn really likes that competition between those two.
Yep.
And I think a lot of it too is just to kind of light the fire under Tippmann. You know, nothing's guaranteed here, new regime, all this stuff. I still think Tippmann's going to win the job, but the offensive line as a whole to me has been a big positive, especially from a run blocking perspective. I think Saturday they struggled a bit pass blocking a couple times. I think a lot of that was, you know, some of the plays on offense just didn't develop. Nobody was open. But run blocking, the run game, Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen was very limited. He didn't practice much coming off the knee soreness, but you've seen some good things from Brees, both on the left and right side. You heard Elijah Vera Tucker today speak as well, just on the full offseason that he's had, a healthy offseason, right? The last 2 off seasons, he's been recovering from the 2 injuries, had a full healthy offseason after a healthy regular season, and playing next to Membu, who he's really liked, both sides, left and right. Olu's a wall in pass protection. He is, in the practices I've been to, I have not seen him lose really any reps that I can vividly remember. You know, Membu's had his battle against Will McDonald. Will McDonald's definitely won some of those, but that's Will McDonald. He's going to win those battles against the rookie. But from a run blocking perspective, they've been very good. And that even was with Simpson out on Saturday with the back injury. They were able to step up. So they should be if they're healthy, they have potential top 10 unit, definitely.
And now Isaiah Davis is interesting too, because you figure we focus so much on Brees as that all-around back that can be featured in all kinds of ways. Braylon Allen's like that power guy that can do, you know, just maul people. Excuse me. Isaiah Davis is kind of in the middle because he's like, we saw a lot of good things out of him last year. Can catch the ball, explosive, shifty. And it seems like he's built on that from last year, which makes the trio in the back really interesting. And I think I keep thinking that Braylon Allen's going to get a lot more carries because Aaron Glenn seems to love him. But now you've seen all the reports on Isaiah Davis. You're like, how many carries are these guys going to get?
Yeah, these couple of practices with Braylon Allen out, Davis is definitely taking advantage of. Very decisive, good vision. He, in the minimal reps he got last year, he looked good. Like when he was out there, he looked really good. He was averaging, you know, over 5 yards a carry. I think he was at 5.8 yards per carry in the I think it was 30 carries last year, just under 6, but doing a lot of really good things. On Saturday, heavily involved in the passing game. And a couple nice runs as well. His ability to just cut up field and get to the second level is really underrated. And you saw some of that. Just very decisive, hits the hole, able to cut. Both of them, even Braylon Allen as well. He kind of has that under radar ability to just hit the hole and hit another level. You don't really think of him as that speed type of guy, but his ability to hit the hole and he can get to another level from a speed perspective as well. We all know what he can do, physicality. I mean, the dude's a monster, but
he is.
Isaiah Davis, he's flown under the radar. Everyone's Brees and Braylon, but Davis is going to get his fair share of opportunities. He should. It could be a 3-headed monster.
And I think that it fares well for the Jets going forward into next year. If Brees doesn't come back, you have the 1-2 punch of you'll have, you know, Braylon, Isaiah Davis, maybe Donovan Edwards is there as your 3, and you kind of have your blueprint for the future too. If you don't want to spend money on Brees, regardless of how he does. So we covered the offense. Looking at defense, really interesting because Quinn Williams is out. So now it's like, okay, your defensive tackle spots at one we're already concerned about depth, like who can stop the run? Can they be physical enough? Jermaine Johnson's not back yet. So you're trying to, Michael Clemens is still there. So you're like, all right, how are they going to function? How are they going to do? And it seems like they're holding their own. Like Will McDonald's having a great camp, according to a lot of reports. You can confirm that. But how is the interior defensive line look?
Yeah, Will McDonald's been excellent. Even Michael Clemens had a what would be sack on Saturday too. So
the times are turning.
Maybe watch out for Michael Clemens. But Rashad Weaver's also actually not had a bad camp either. Just, you know, those guys kind of fighting for that third edge, you know, filling in for Jermaine early in the year as he, you know, eases back into it from the Achilles.
Yep.
Yeah, Coward definitely is the 2. I think Coward, and I know the depth chart, the unofficial depth chart had him listed there. I definitely think Coward will be this team's defensive tackle 2 next to Quinn Williams. I think that was the case since the spring. He had a good spring. He's put together a couple nice practices in the summer. Jay Tufele's flashed a bit as well.
Everybody likes him.
Yeah. I think you kind of went into camp envisioning him just as a depth rotational piece, but he's working his way into maybe even a bigger role for this team as a depth piece, which is obviously a positive if he can kind of emerge here. I think it'll be Cowart, Tufele, mentioned Clemens, mentioned Weaver. Leonard Taylor, made a couple plays. I don't think it was Saturday. I think it was another practice I was at where he made a couple plays. But Eric Watts had I think
Taylor was interesting because Aaron Glenn said he had to talk to him about that. Like I think maybe I'm not gonna say it was disappointing, but he's like, you know what? We had to give Taylor some extra coaching here to get him up to speed, and then he reacted to it. So like, you don't want to see guys getting lost in the shuffle. Like that's a guy I like a lot that we kind of expected more because he showed flashes last year in limited time. That it's interesting because there's legitimate competition. I think in these preseason games, I'm legitimately watching defensive line play because you want to see who's going to make the team, but also we want to see the rotation, who's going to be, because if Quinn's banged up or Jermaine Johnson's coming back slow or whatever else, like you don't want to see a line getting pushed around, getting their asses kicked, or you don't want to see a line that can't generate the pressure. Because it's like you have confidence in the secondary, but you got to have pressure. You can't, it's especially in the AFC. So now the linebackers, you love Quincy Williams, you love Jamie and Sherwood. That I think everybody feels comfortable with. The corners and safeties are interesting to me because Brandon Stevens made headlines for all the wrong reasons last year. When the Jets signed him, he made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Everybody's like, how do you pay him that much money? This guy can't do this. He can't do that. He's a penalty waiting to happen. Ravens fans can't stand him. Aaron Glenn loved him for a variety of reasons. And he's going out, and according to every report, he's having a phenomenal camp. He looks great.
Yeah. He's been awesome. He's been a very nice surprise. It's funny. Brandon Stevens entered the training camp already kind of on the hot seat, and he didn't even play a game for the Jets. You expected AZ Thomas to maybe, not that AZ Thomas hasn't had a good camp. I don't think he's stood out that much, but Brandon Stevens has been very good. He's had a couple really nice reps against Garrett Wilson. On Saturday, he again was making a couple plays with pass breakups and just in general, just good reps when you watch him one-on-one. And he's going against the best of the best. He's got a lot of looks against Garrett. He's held his own. I'm really looking forward to him next week if he gets some opportunities against Neighbors as well. Another good challenge for him.
Absolutely.
He's been a really, really nice, pleasant surprise, and he keeps this up. I don't know if Jets fans, we got to see him obviously out there, but the trust in Stevens is definitely building from where we were coming out of the spring. He did not have a good spring, did not have a good mini camp OTAs. There was a lot of just bad plays in coverage, bad plays on the ball, which we saw a lot of that, of course, in Baltimore. That hasn't been the case, though. That he is a early example of this coaching staff finding a guy and really developing him, and that's been a positive sign. Sauce is Sauce. I'll tell you what, just secondary in general, moving on from Stevens and stuff, they blitz a lot. That is a big change. Michael Carter had a couple blitzes on Saturday. Cisco's had some blitzes. They blitzed Isaiah Oliver. They're not afraid to send the safety blitzes, which is a nice change from where we were last year, where they didn't blitz at all last couple years.
Well, see, the thing is, but to your point, I think Michael Carter second is he's I think the X factor to this defense. He's such a versatile piece that we forgot all about because he was injured last year. Remember, before he got his contract, dude, he was a player we loved him. Like, oh, you got to keep him. But I think Aaron Glenn, his defense, he's going to have chess pieces he wants to use. I think he's going to use things with Cisco, but I really think that Malachi Moore, hopefully he stays healthy, he's going to be that guy. But I think Michael Carter second, he's going to be primed for a huge year, dude. They're going to put him in position to do some really cool things.
Yeah, I'm excited for Michael Carter. It's crazy how much a year changed. This time last year was getting the contract extension, and now this year is a bit of improvement mode because they can get out of it after this year. But I agree. I think Michael Carter's in a really good spot to have a bounce back season. Number one, it's not like he just lost all of his ability. He was just banged up last year, and he came out during the spring in a press conference and said how much it took time for him to heal from the back injury that he suffered last year. It took a lot of time. It took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he thrives in man coverage. When you look at some of his man coverage numbers in 2023, this is going to be a defense. Glenn ran the most amount of man coverage in the NFL last year with the Lions. It's going to be a team that's going to run a lot of man. That fits Michael Carter's game.
100%.
If he's back to the 2023 form and you get an improved Brandon Stevens, the expectations and the possibilities for the secondary are huge. And just a number here, Michael Carter only allowed a 56.5 passer rating in man coverage, 35.7 completion percentage in 2023. So thrived in that spot. He was awesome. I'll throw one more thing out here.
Uh-oh.
And I know it was listed on the depth chart. Just going to linebackers. Marcelino McCrary Ball, he flies around. Does he? Yeah, he's had a good camp. Every time I've been there, he has popped my eye. They have him listed as the third linebacker. I really think he makes this team and potentially plays a role. He has had a very good training camp. He's got some speed, flies around, physical. He's had a couple big hits for camp. Like he's got some ability to him that he's popped a bit. He's one of those underrated guys that has caught my eye.
So, well, they love speed too. I love speed on defense, dude. You want sideline to sideline guys,
linebackers,
100%. The safety position is interesting because Malachi Moore seems to be coming on. Everybody loves Cisco. He seems like he's a playmaker. Aaron Glenn obviously loves him. He's a leader, ball hawk. But then it's like Tony Adams is still there, dude. And it's like that was a guy we all kind of thought, he could be gone. Weren't really sure. The Jets kept I feel like the Jets were obligated to keep him because they kind of didn't want to spend money on any kind of free agency, and they did that. So now he's still there. And how is he playing, man? Because I think Malachi Moore is unfortunate his injury, but I think he's going to be back in practice this week. I was kind of hoping he found this sneak away, finding a role. But are you have any faith in Tony Adams?
Yeah, I think Tony Adams is who he is. He's average. He had the interception a couple days ago on Tyler Johnson. I think it was an overthrow, but was able to pick it off. He hasn't popped necessarily. Malachi Moore definitely has. And that was what was unfortunate when he went down with the injury. Now, it sounds like he should be back potentially this week.
Yep.
But I think there's a real shot Malachi Moore was challenging Tony Adams there and could have won the starting job. And he still could, especially in these preseason games and joint practice as well. I think there's a real chance he wins the safety job. But if not, Tony Adams probably starts. I still think Malachi Moore ends up at some point taking over this next to Andre Cisco, a strong safety. Tony Adams, they brought him back on, I believe it was the exclusive first rights tender.
It wasn't anything soon though. They kind of dragged their feet on that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's cheap 1 year, kind of just a stopgap. Provides some. He's been here a couple years now. Not just create a hole there where you have Oliver and a rookie, just have another body in that room. So I think Malachi Moore at maybe week 1 right away, but if not, I think he eventually takes over. And
what about AZ Thomas?
He's been solid.
I could tell when you pause. You're like,
he had a really nice.
Just be honest, bro. It's okay.
He Saturday, I didn't see a ton from him, but in terms of a week ago now, he had a pick. I just think with Brandon Stevens, I thought that was going to be a real battle to watch for. I just think Brandon Stevens has just blown away. Maybe it was just me. I think most Jet fans in general though went into it with, hey, AZ Thomas might start at some point this year, 100%. But Brandon Stevens has been so good. And I think Malachi Moore's had a better camp just in terms of those two rookies. But he had the pick. He's had a couple pass breakups. Just looking through my notes. He's been, hasn't popped by any means, but
I love the fact that you have notes. This is impressive. This is very professional of you, man.
Yeah. I'm a nerd.
I do the same thing though. I got to take all kinds of stuff. I'm not writing things down because I forget it.
If I sit there for the whole practice, I won't absorb. I'll just come back and I'll remember 3 plays.
Yep. I do the same thing. I'll make all these little notes down, because things happen so fast. And while you're writing things down, another play happens. You're like, shit, I missed that.
I'll say this for AZ Thomas. There's been a couple plays, and I guess kind of turn this into a positive from an Arian Smith perspective. There's been a couple plays in the one-on-one cornerback DB drills where Arian Smith's actually beat him, which is interesting because you wouldn't think Arian Smith would be that guy because he struggles against those physical corners. But Arian Smith's speed on a couple of the plays, he just gets off and gets by these guys. There's been a couple of those instances.
Well, it's funny you say that because the one thing Rich Cimini was talking about today was everybody thinks Arian Smith's a speed guy, downfield guy, the vertical threat. But he's catching passes over the middle. He's not he's not scared to go to the middle, which is good. But he's actually catching the football too, which is something that we were all kind of I'm expecting Alan Lazard just the drops to this to that, just a complete shit show. And he's actually seemed like he's legit early on.
Yeah, and it's nice to see him get across the middle, just kind of increasing that route tree because it was just vertical threat. But getting across the middle, he's made a couple nice plays in traffic. He's held on to some of the balls in traffic, which is important.
What do you mean some? Is it some or all?
Or all. Well, most, most
95%.
Yeah, but
it's not like a drop fest. It's not like he's overwhelmed. No. I've been to practices where you could tell receivers it's like a 75% rate. He's he's not consistent at all.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't look lost. There's guys that'll just look lost. He's been a pleasant surprise for this team. I still think he's probably just that certain package, vertical, deep threat type of role for this team rookie year. Maybe as the season goes on, they extend him a bit and get him out there a little bit more often. But no, I mean, the route running, the hands were some of the biggest concerns you've had. And so far, he's done some good things. And like I said, he's had a couple wins against AZ Thomas, who that type of cornerback is exactly the type of cornerback that he would struggle against. And he hasn't. So that's been good. And yeah, a couple of those catches in traffic have been another positive as well. Not just deep balls, but the deep balls are obviously with the speed could take over. In
terms of special teams, I know they signed Nick Folk, which I think is going to be the kicker. I don't think Mevis is going to beat him. So you figure Folk's there, but the punter I think is a work in progress. Do you think McNamara has it locked up, or he's a? Yeah, they haven't brought another punter in, so weird. He continues to just punt away. So yeah, I think it'll be McNamara. Now, the one thing that kind of surprised me, and again, it's early, it's freaking August 4th, was the returners. Because, let me say this. They could be a lot better coaching this year. Everybody loved Brant Boyer as a coach, but to me, I thought Gibson was a very average returner that I became ridiculously frustrating towards the end of last year. I was just over it at that point. And to see him already back there again as a starter, I'm like, dude, have we not learned? Like, there's got to be somebody else. I know they tried different guys there, but it seems like now in the depth chart, he's the guy. What do you are they showing anybody else with returns that's kind of catching your eye? I think Pritchett would be the next big one from a punt returning perspective to take over that role. And I've said that many times. I think there's a real chance that Pritchett maybe makes his team over Gibson if he continues to flash a bit as a receiver and do some good things as a punt returner and be back consistently. I think you'll really get a good idea of punt returning once the preseason hits. But yeah, I mean, Gibson's been back. They've had Corley back, even on kick returns. Kene Nwangu's been back on the kick returns. Arian Smith as well. Mention Jamal Pritchett. But Arian Smith, I don't think he returned to college, did he? Or maybe he did. I don't believe so. He may have gone a couple opportunities. I know Pritchett did, but they were working with Arian Smith during the spring. Banjo was talking about a guy that they've given some opportunities. I don't think he'll like him and Cisco. Like Cisco is back there too. Yeah. Cisco's not going to return kicks and punts. He was just back there. Yep. But I still think there's a good chance Pritchett's this team's returner, even with Gibson listed as the one. I hope so. But Pritchett's flashed. He's sneaky slot, small guy. He's got some speed. You like him? I can tell he's your guy. Like I'm waiting for you. You're making a video about him. You got to do that, man. He's like the 2023 Xavier Gibson. That UDFA that's flashes. All right. Before we go to callers, your biggest surprise that how many practices you been to? 3? Yeah. So your biggest surprise so far? Biggest surprise. You're starting to sweat. I would probably say I've been very happy with what I've seen, and maybe I guess this is a surprise. I mean, I think Isaiah Davis has had a very strong camp. I do, and I think it's just kind of flown under the radar. Everyone's talked about Braylon Allen, Breece Hall. I think Davis has looked really good. I think Cisco's had a very strong camp as well. Kind of a guy that you were wondering, and Stevens as well, another one to throw out there. He's been excellent. He's been a nice positive surprise to kind of give you like one really a backup that's been, I said Marcelino McCrary Ball. He would be like the really bottom of the depth chart, has flashed in the days that I've been there. I think, Pritchett, I guess, throwing that mix as well. What sucks to me, it's not like Tyler Johnson, not like nobody like that. It's like I wish it was a receiver that was like, oh wow, like we have a diamond in the rough here. Yeah, Tyler Johnson has made some plays. I think Tyler Johnson, I guess from the surprise standpoint, I think he's been right now would probably be the wide receiver 3. I do think he's emerged over Lazard. Oh really? Part of that though is Lazard he's just like you don't even know he's out there. He's made very minimal amount of plays. He's a blocker. And they don't even look his way a ton. I know they did today. It was out of bounds in the back of the end zone. They try to get it to him, but I think Tyler Johnson's actually, if the season was to start right now, it'd probably be Garrett Reynolds, Tyler Johnson. In my opinion, he's done more than what Lazard has, but who knows? All right. And this show is always about being fair. Who doesn't look good? Who's good? Lazard. That would be one I throw out there. Lazard hasn't looked very good. I haven't really seen much of anything from Noddy.
kind of tough to tell with the pads just coming on, but like Howard's emerged. We mentioned J2 Fele, heck, even Peyton Page, who's completely bottom of the roster. He has had a couple really good days. Haven't really seen a ton from Noddy, so I'd throw him on that list of guys that really haven't done a whole lot.
Look at this from Brian. Bubs is making great daily Jets content.
Appreciate it.
Dude, that's it. This is what it's all about here. You're good.
And I would throw Corley in that mix too. Not that he's been bad. He just hasn't done enough to elevate himself coming out of what was a horrible year one, you know?
And that's the thing. You think you should have a chip on his shoulder. Like last year was ridiculously disappointing where he got mocked for the touchdown. Well, it should have been touchdown. It's like you have all that. And it's like, how do you not come back, especially when you have a chance to impress your new coaching staff? Like you're getting a free pass. Like, all right, it's reset. You have a whole new opportunity to redeem yourself, improve yourself. And he's still not doing it. And it's like, come on, dude. Like you could have such an opportunity in front of you, especially with this. There's so much uncertainty where a lot of these guys may not even be here next year. Yeah. It's frustrating, man. Yeah.
No, yeah. You would have liked to see more out of him, especially after a spring where he was hurt, like trying to prove it to a new coaching staff. Just hasn't happened. And it's a bummer just potentially throwing another day 2 receiver out the window, but it feels like it might be headed in that direction again.
So I know Aaron Glenn met the media today. He says he's not going to say anything about his starters playing on Saturday, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, he's going to probably hold it out all week long and say, oh, you know what? They're not going to play or whatever. Like I still think there's a lot of really cool positions to watch and see how you evaluate them. Definitely. So it's exciting. So my question for you, Bubs, we're going to go to calls. Do you want to start out with chaos or do you want to start out with interesting?
Let's go interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Gauntlet man.
I was surprised. I was thinking I was going to be chaos.
We have chaos lined up next, unfortunately.
If I'm not chaos, then who is? I mean, yeah, it's going to be an easier call.
So how many practices have you been to?
Just the green versus white scrimmage.
And what were your thoughts?
Well, generally, I think that, it's like night and day, just looking at the whole, just from a broader perspective, just
global
looking
perspective.
from
the global perspective, macro perspective.
Yeah. Just looking at it globally, looking at the field, you just see that there's more, just not only is there more organization and actually like planning out and everything seems like there's a purpose to every single piece that's going on. There's also I feel like there's just more responsibility, if that makes sense, or accountability. That's the word I'm looking for. There's more accountability where everyone kind of has a job and they know it and they're going out and you don't see like players, like no one seems like they're too good for like what's going on. No, right. At least we haven't seen that yet publicly. But it just, everyone kind of is just buying into the program. That's something you really like to see early on.
Well, and then, so in terms of intensity, level of effort, like I critical aside, I thought there was a lot of complacent practices where you were in, you're like, I couldn't go anymore. Like, I don't want to see this anymore. Like, I've seen enough because the results are going to match the effort in practice. And we saw it. We saw it all year last year and for a couple of years. Do you see that level of like I think Garrett Wilson called the competition, like they compete in every drill. Like you can win and lose a drill, and that means something to them. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, no, definitely. You see, I think there's a lot of, we've seen best on best in the past, but I feel like there's especially just even, not only do we see that in competitiveness on best, but you also see it more just like, because also this is a much different roster where it's kind of from last year and the last 2 years where you see like, there's not as much like established, okay, like we know Garrett Wilson's number one, but it's like there's a lot more at stake and everyone's kind of fighting for that position. And you see that. And you see that just whether that's the wide receiver group, the defensive ends. You kind of see, I guess the offensive line's pretty set. But besides that, outside of that, you really see a lot of competition going on. And a lot of people, the intensity's there.
So now when you go to a green and white scrimmage and you see a celebrity like Bubs, is he very kind and polite? Did he share his notebook with you, or did he guard his notes?
No. He's got to save the content for the fans. Nah, he kept tight to his chest. He did save some seats for me, which was nice.
Is he a talker during practice, or is he really quiet?
No. He's in the zone. He's locked in.
Really?
Yeah.
Primetime would be like that too. Primetime wouldn't say a freaking word the entire time. He was dead silent the whole time. Like, bro, make a goddamn joke or something. Like, I'm bored over here. Like, I want somebody to talk to.
No, don't worry. I had the jokes on my end. That was great. You should have seen the look on Bub's face when I told him that Corey Davis was coming out of the tunnel.
Or the one when Chris Boyd went down right in front of him. You're like,
Oh.
no, Devontae Adams is down because he's wearing 17.
No, because I wasn't familiar because everyone keeps changing their numbers. So it was like 17, and then I googled 17, and the AI came up. I was like, no, it's Devontae Adams.
He's back. So now we have a controversy now with your name. Do we have a issue with the spelling?
Yeah, it's training camp. Doesn't matter.
Oh, Jesus. I thought. Listen, man. We have standards on this show. We're like Aaron Glenn. Now. We have to hold you accountable. We have to have standards now. We can't. We can no longer accept spelling errors.
First of all, as a raging dyslexic, on record, that has been on record many times in the past. Second of all, I want to get to the name, but I want to talk about the kicking situation here. Because that's what we're all here for. That's what puts the butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And like you could talk about Fields, that's fine, whatever. But I want to talk about Nick Folk and Mevis. And that's really this really came out of nowhere, this Nick Folk signing, and I'm happy for it. I'm in the middle of a move. I don't know where the vacuums are probably over here. When you look at just the body language of like a 40-year-old plus veteran like Nick Folk, and then you look at Mevis, and it's just night and day. Mevis missed like even in the misses, like you could tell like Folk made one, Mevis and then Bubs talked about it, and then it got called back, and it was like a false start or delay game, sorry, and they went back, and then Nick Folk you could tell it was just kind of like it wasn't like a nerve stink. He just didn't get a good he didn't get good placement, and it was just kind of like it sputtered out. But then Mevis, when he goes out there, it's just like he's just missing left, missing right. There's just no fundamental.
There were some bad misses.
It's just bad misses.
Yeah.
And that's the reison why going into this camp, I was never high on Mevis. I liked Sauls.
Maybe you need to be high is the thing. That's the difference.
What'd you say?
Maybe you need to be high then to watch them.
I mean, Nick Folk, with it being like as it stands, I'm pretty happy with it, at least for a consistent. He's been as consistent as they come over the past few years, surprisingly. If you look at his stats in the past few years, you look just at how camp's going. I know he had like one or two bad misses, but I don't know. I think that we're pretty set on the kicking game here. I mean,
but what the punter's still rookie though. He's unproven.
Yeah, I'm talking about just focusing mainly on the kicking. But yeah, the punting.
Is punting not kicking?
No. It's. I mean, it's the kicker. It's not the punt. It's the punter.
Does the punter kick the ball?
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's special teams. It's not called kicking. It's called special teams.
Is punting not special teams?
You're moving the goalposts now. You're moving.
You're moving the goalposts. You're saying the punter kicks the ball. You kick the ball. He's a kicker. No, is punting kicking?
No, it's not. There's the kicker that's kicking, and there's punting. They're two different things.
So when you punt the ball's not being kicked.
I mean, if you want to be like, if you want to go into semantics here. It's being kicked.
When you punt the ball, do you kick the ball to punt it?
Yes. Right? Yeah. I mean,
but
or is it?
When you think of kicking in the NFL, you don't think of punting. You think of kickoffs and field goals.
But when you're evaluating kicking on a team, do you evaluate the kicker and the punter, or just the kicker? I
mean, when you say it like that, you think you got me on something here, but you don't. It's kicking.
I'm just asking you a question. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand when you're giving me your training camp evaluation. I'm trying to understand how the evaluation categories. As a professional
special teams analyst,
okay?
I will say that kicking is in kicking the NFL, the act of kicking. You think of it is saved, especially put to the side for kickers and kickoffs in the NFL, which I want to talk about kickoffs too, because I had some notes on that as well.
Let's go. Let's hear your notes.
Did you write them down? First of all, just with it being stated, with the rule where we're already moving the ball now to like the 40, I think just to start. Nick Folk had one ball that went short, and I was like, oh, what? Then there's a lot of, they started off, strangely enough, with like, I'm not sure if that happens in every practice. Not that I can recall. They started off with like 10 kickoffs in a row. Right, Bubs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do the special team stuff to start.
Yeah, they really want to get that down, and you could tell. And that's just something that I feel like a lot of teams are going to have to adjust to.
So is it bunting or hitting? In baseball, a bunt, it's like swing the bat for hit.
What do you mean? No. When you think of hitting, when I say hitting, you don't think of you bunt the ball. Yeah, it counts as a hit, just like as when you kick the ball and you punt it.
Exactly. It kicks when you kick the ball. It counts as a punt.
when you punt the ball, it counts. Yeah, you are technically, it's a kick. You kick the ball. When you bunt, it's the same thing. You're not going anywhere with this. We're gonna have to do like a community poll here. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Bunting and
Punting
punting.
is not kicking. They're two different things. Yeah, it's not kicking returning. It's punt returning. They're two different categories.
It's a type of a kick, though.
Bravo, Tyson, on the rage baiting. My blood pressure is. Oh my gosh, this is the calm call. Wait till the next one.
Yeah, this is chaos.
Is
This
a
is the
lateral
chaos going on.
throw? I mean, we did see that throw from Rodgers to Devontae Adams last year. Was that a throw? I guess.
Punting is the act of kicking the football.
The act of kick. You know what? The only kicking. I'm about to kick myself off this call at this rate. This
I can help you with that.
yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Let's wrap it up here.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Bubs?
Yeah, I mean, it's more like a taco because it's the bread's on the side.
Taco?
But yeah, it's a sandwich.
How could a hot dog be a taco? It's got no shell.
No, like it's more the bread on the side.
But real time. Lock in here. Lock in. Okay. If tomato is a fruit and it has sugar in it and ketchup has sugar in it, is ketchup a fruit smoothie?
Wait, say that again?
Okay, if ketchup has sugar in it, okay, that is a true fact, and tomatoes tomatoes a fruit, is ketchup a fruit smoothie?
Ketchup a fruit smoothie? Sure.
We're making progress. This is what it's all about. We have to end on that high note.
I definitely too sober for this. I wasn't prepared for this at all.
Glad you had fun at Lincoln Park, Tyson.
Oh, they were phenomenal, dude. I'll tell you right now, if anybody is on the fence about going to see Lincoln Park because of the new singer, 1,000% go. I'm telling you, 1,000% go. They are phenomenal. Emily Armstrong kicks ass, dude. Her voice is legit. Yeah. So now, when are you going through the joint practices?
No, I'm not, because I'm going to be away and then I'm moving. So there's a lot of movement here, but I am. I guess we should make this public now on the stream. I am taking up a job this upcoming season at the Jets, so I'm going to be working at the stadium.
You're an insider.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many calls we're going to have going forward, but we'll see.
They're going to ban you from our shows.
They're going to have to get me on the NDA. They're going to have to lock and key me.
They're going to have to do your first job thing. But you cannot go talk to Let's Talk Jets anymore. You're out.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna reveal the secrets of the hot dogs of MetLife Stadium.
Now, the first practice I want to go to, and you're not going to go to it. You got to be kidding me, dude.
Which one?
The joint practice.
With the Giants?
Yeah.
I got to look at that date. I'll maybe make it. When is that? 12th, maybe.
What happens to the Discord now?
Right?
What do you mean? Discord that's still going strong. That's fine.
What are you doing for the team?
Well.
I'm working with suites, so I'm kind of like escorting. I'm setting up the suites, escorting maybe a VIP or two, maybe
You're
Revis.
a sweet guy.
Yeah, but I think I got a good gig.
Guy, get that little.
I think I got a good gig. I don't have to be outside in the freezing cold. So,
listen, if you ever get an extra suite, for us poor people over here, you can just Phil to get me in those boots. You know what I mean?
You're the one getting invited to the fancy sections, Dyson.
Not me, dude. So let me know if you want to go to practice, dude. Because I definitely want to go to that. So
I have to see if I'm back from Chicago, but we'll see.
Seating attendant, man. Yeah, get us a suite for the Steelers game. Help us out, man. And then when you go there, tell them if a fan contacts your ticket office and says they want to buy 7 tickets, don't tell me they buy 10. Say thank you. We're so happy to have you as a fan.
I mean that's sales though, but I'll see what I can do.
It's funny because I was in a similar situation. I was trying to buy 3 tickets, and they said I needed to get 6.
Yeah, I needed 7.
We're just adding the number 3 to the end.
Yeah.
It's creative accounting. But
if you get 10 tickets, do you need 13 then?
Yeah, they're just pissing us off.
Yep.
We got a long way to go.
Is a taco a sandwich?
Is a taco a sandwich? No, it has to be 2. I think a sandwich needs to be like 2 distinct pieces of bread. And I know you can argue hot dogs have like that little gap, but it's really not.
What
They
gap?
really are two.
What's the gap in the hot dog? With the
I
roll?
guess if you break it apart.
I'm saying like it's like such a thin like area that connects the two pieces of the buns that I'm not really. Tacos kind of just like one continuous. This is gonna be like an hour call with 3 wrap-ups here. I gotta go. We're ending
Good night,
this.
man. Take care.
Good night.
We try to ask honest questions here, and this is what happens. Yo, is a taco a sandwich, V-Man?
What's up? Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Oh, what are you drinking?
Palo Viejo.
Oh, you're drinking it straight right out of the bottle?
Yeah.
What, you like it like that?
Yes, it's really just this is like the poor man's rum.
I mean, but why not like have it in a glass, like mix, like have a little rum and coke, or maybe put it on the rocks or something, like just out of the bottle?
Yeah.
How much have you had?
And there's a couple sips, couple swigs.
Okay. Well, Bubs, welcome to V-Man. Welcome to the V-Man's calls. This is always an
Yeah,
experience.
no, it's been a while since it's been a while. I can't remember like how long has it been since I've called into a show? It's been too
33 days.
Yeah. Also, well, in that span of time, I've done a lot. I marched in the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
That's good. What did you wear? Were you part of like a group?
Yeah, I was wearing this shirt.
What the hell? Is somebody punching somebody? What the hell is that?
It's frog. It's the Puerto Rican coquille frog punching an eagle.
I got nothing.
I didn't design the shirt. It was the group shirt. Okay.
What group designed the shirt?
My sister's group that was marching in the parade.
So did you like drink during the parade, or you stayed like? Did you just went and just did it sober?
No. I no, because I had to go to work. After that I had to after that I had to get home, eat, and then head out to work. So no, I didn't have anything to drink. Although I also saw the new Superman movie.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it's great. Like if you're a fan of the the 70s Christopher Reeves, Richard Donner era Superman, you're gonna have a hell of a good time watching it.
Did you see Happy Gilmore too?
No, I haven't seen that. I'll go check that out.
Bub, did you see Happy Gilmore too?
Yes, watched it a couple days ago.
What is your review of that?
I know Bad Bunny's in that, right?
Yes, there's a ton of cameos. There's so many. Even Kelsey's in it. So many PGA players. I liked it. I know some people with mixed reviews, but I thought it was good.
Well, that's the thing with comedy sequels. They're always gonna get. It's a comedy. They're never gonna get good. It's never gonna get good reviews. Rarely do you ever see comedies get good reviews.
Oh, so your summer in review. You walked in the parade. You saw Superman. What else did you do the rest of the summer?
I haven't done much. It's been a quiet summer for me. It's like because baseball's been a bore. I mean, the Yankees are just so they are so bad. They are so bad. They would probably lose to a Puerto Rican Winter League team. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Why is it always a Puerto Rican reference, dude? Like, you can just say like a little league team.
Like, okay, Winter League team. There you go. Happy now?
I'm happy. So have you watched? Have you looked at any Jets content? Are you following up on the team at all, or no?
I've been spending about the last week trying to catch up. I've been following the other Jets content creators to get up to news.
He's not following us, Bub. He's following the other content creators.
I literally, like, the moment I got back in was literally right when we had the Justin Fields injury scare. That's literally like, come on. Like, I get back in and it's like it's like baseball's already depressing me. It's like, can I get positivity out of football, please? And
then you got it. Justin Fields wasn't hurt. It was only a dislocated toe.
And then that was good, and then hearing Aaron Glenn talk and how having the refs there so that the players know, so the players can talk with them, and see what they're doing, so that they can avoid making the stupid boneheaded penalty. Because look, we all know this Jets team we're probably going to be hovering just a tick under 500. Okay. So I think a good measurement for this team is that when they lose, because ultimately we know they're going to lose games, but they lose games because it just wasn't their day. That's the way you want to. If they're going to lose games, that's how you want to see it happen.
Just a bad day.
It's just not their day. You don't want to be there in the post game saying like, oh, we fucking lost because of a stupid roughing the passer or some boneheaded hold or damn like pass interference.
Wouldn't that be a bad day though if that happens? Like what's your criteria for a bad day? Because that's a bad. Like, we lost because we had a bad day. It's like a holding penalty, a miss kick, things like that.
I mean, what I mean, like it's I don't mean like a bad day. It's just not their day. Like they just got outplayed. Like they were not. The other team was just simply the better team.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is a good measurement of success for this team. I think it's a good judgment of this team because that's ultimately what's been the problem for the Jets for so long is that's how they always lose these games. Like they've had talent, but they lose because they just shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, how many times we just sit there, just like you're just scratching your head and just the whole Rob Saleh era, just like literally they'd always talk about the penalties, but nothing would ever get done about the penalties. It was just
are you excited about the season though? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it because also my coworker owes me Jets tickets.
Oh, really? So what game are you going to?
I don't know yet. What happened was it was going to be a Secret Santa thing, but she misread the calendar. So the game she was setting up for was actually an away. The game she was going to get me the tickets for actually turned out to be an away game. So then she said, "I misread the schedule. My bad." So she said,
Right.
"Next year, let me know what the game you want to go to, and I'll get you the ticket."
Steelers.
It's going to be a nosebleed ticket, but it's still a ticket.
Steelers.
Week 1.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what game I end up going to. I gotta figure it out.
Okay. Bubs, do you have any questions for the infamous V-Man?
No, I think. What was your thoughts on Garrett and Sauce getting paid?
I'm happy. I'm happy that that they kept their word. That they're gonna keep the the talent. That they kept their word. That that like I said, they're gonna keep the talented guys here. That even though they didn't draft them, they respect that. They know what these guys are capable of. They know what they can do, and they got paid like they deserve.
Now, I have a very important question. This is one that I'm fascinated by. Are you going on Jake Aspen's cruise with the Jets legends?
No, I wish. Wait, what?
How do you not know this? You're Jake's biggest fan. How do you not know about the cruise?
I've been off the Jets. I've been off the Jets sphere for a pretty long time.
Yeah, but you have to. You still follow Jake's show and you call in though.
Like I've only called in maybe like 3 times in the last few months.
Really? What happened? What are you doing, man? You're working that much?
I've just just life has been exhausting. I've had this thing with my grandfather had a scare that like he almost. It was like this whole week where it was just like he wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't move. He was just napping the whole time. It was like we thought it was going to be, this is, when you see it with old people when they don't interact with the outside world. It's like, it's that time when they're about to go. So I was like just worried about that. Then it just passed, and now he's back to, interacting.
Well, that's
it
good.
still doesn't make sense, but I mean, he's still dementia laden, and he says random things that make absolutely no sense half the time. But
hey, at least you still have him though. He's still here.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do the rest of the summer? Do you go to the beach?
I haven't gone to the beach. I'm not really much of a beach person. Honestly, I don't go because I don't have anyone to go with, and secondly, my mother is petrified of sharks. My mother is petrified of sharks.
There's no sharks on the beach.
Like she watches way too much Shark Week.
But they're not on the beach though. They're in the water.
Yeah, but then what's the point of going to the beach if you don't go in the water?
I go to the beach many times. I don't go in the water, or maybe I was going like just put your feet in, get a little wet. Yeah. You don't have to go swimming.
No, so maybe I'll.
Well, V man, it's really good to see you, man. I'm doing you well. Make sure you don't like drive or anything. You drank a little bit. Just make sure you chill out. And how are your dogs doing? More importantly,
they're doing good. They're doing good. They're relaxing.
Well played, Brian. That's a good one.
Something else. Oh, I don't. I know that reference.
It's a good beer. Very good beer for summertime beer. Well, V-Man, good talking to you, man. I'm glad you're doing well. Hopefully you'll call back in more often. We look forward to your Jets takes as always. You know. I know. Have a good night, man. So you survived that, Bubs. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I saw somebody in the comments. They're still trying to figure out what that parade was.
Yeah, I knew it. The minute the word parade came out, I knew exactly where it was going to go. But when he starts off with the rum, you know shit's going to get bad. So now we went from interesting to chaos to educational. Our next caller is he's a very educated man who shares all kinds of insight and he was our former salary cap guy, but now he's our director of IT because he sucks the salary cap. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about there. So now he's the director of IT. So.
Hi, Bubs.
How's it going?
I'm not going to say hi to him because he's just.
Wait, well, you got to admit we've had some issues with the.
Oh, you're never satisfied.
No, it's just we
you're never satisfied.
We ask for little things like having the contract numbers right. When we say, "Hey,
how much am I signing these things?
How much dead money is there?" and he says 9, and you say 5, you're supposed to be the expert. It's a problem.
Who said 9? Who said 5?
Last week you had for the last couple of weeks.
29 million. I said.
Yeah, it's been wrong though.
Hi, everybody.
And the thing is, like, I used to have so much confidence in you when you told me numbers. I believed you. Now, after the show,
was I lying to you up till now?
Well, now I have to cross-check your work. I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about?
It's your channel. You should be on top of everything.
No, but it's your job to learn to find. You wanted to be. You asked us, can I be the salary cap guy?
Adjust the volume on your mic. Just the mic volume.
No,
it's too high.
No, I don't want to do anything now.
Bubs, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
That's my contract question.
No, my concern is the wide receivers. That's what I want to talk about. If no one's standing out after Garrett, do you start looking for somebody now?
Especially with Josh Reynolds hurt.
Yeah, I like Reynolds. I think he's definitely stuck out the most prior to the injury. Which I still don't think we got quite the timetable up on that yet, but I mean, I think Tyler Johnson's done some good things. It's just
not consistent.
Yeah, and I think outside of that, I mean, Lazard's been a non-factor. Corley, like we mentioned, hasn't done enough. And Arian Smith's a rookie, and Gibson, Pritchett, like those guys, you can't rely on them to.
How many times have those guys should Brees?
A lot. Him and Taylor, Mason Taylor, Brees, and Garrett are definitely will be your top 3 in targets if they're all healthy. So,
Afram, based on your expertise and knowledge and all your experience, do the Jets, can they afford another receiver?
Yeah, if he stays within the 29 million, yeah.
Oh, so now he's got a number. So now you're saying we have 29 million.
I told you that last time.
So you're saying as of
write it down in your notes like you've done everything else.
No, so now you're saying we have $29 million in cap space as of today. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to throw 29 million on one guy.
I mean,
who's left? Didn't Cooper retire?
Amari Cooper? No.
He's still out there.
He's holding out for more money.
Oh.
Yeah. Keenan Allen, I think.
Parsons?
What?
We trading for Parsons?
No, absolutely not. It's a ridiculous idea. He's not. He's going to be a Cowboy, but no. Why would you have? There's no reason to do that.
I don't think.
Him and McLaurin. I don't see that.
So who's going to be your top 3 guys that are going to get throws?
I think it's going to be Garrett, Brees, Mason Taylor, and then I think Reynolds will probably be your 4th. And that's similar to when Reynolds was in Detroit. That was how that breakdown was. So I think just having Reynolds back plus Engstrand, I think that's what you're going to see. Your number 2 receiver is essentially going to be your 4th targeted pass catcher.
Since you've been to some of these practices, this is the Green and White practice, did you see new plays than the previous? Were they practicing newer plays than the previous practices? I'm just trying to see if they haven't got a grasp of any new plays, and they were trying them out in the Green and White, and that's why they were out of sync quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot more pre-snap motion. Obviously, Rodgers never liked the pre-snap stuff. A lot more of that. There's been a couple plays where you could tell there's a emphasis on trying to push the ball downfield, not just be in this 5 to 10 yard box, try and get things a little bit more vertical. I think the biggest thing's actually been with some of the run plays. a lot of run plays have been going to the outside, which has been a nice change. A lot of Hackett and Downing was just the vanilla up the middle run concepts. You're seeing a lot more, to the outside right, outside the tackles and stuff like that, which is a nice change. And with these running backs, you get in space, that's where they could do some damage. And there's been a couple end arounds, like a couple of those trick plays. Brandon Smith had an end around. Arian Smith, a couple of those speed guys. Brandon Smith's another name actually to watch too on that receiving core, make the team.
Now, the one thing we didn't talk about before is, Aaron Glenn being a CEO type head coach. Is he actually a CEO type head coach? Have you seen him offense, defense, special teams actively involved in each position group?
Yeah, he's been all over. I kind of joked about that. I think he's done more steps around that practice field than Saleh did in his 4 years already.
Really?
He's been at special teams. He's been at the offensive line. Then he's working with the corners. He's been all over. And even during the practices, when there's a penalty, he's right over to whoever committed the penalty, immediately talking to them. He was talking to Tony Adams last practice. There was Tony Adams was upset about something on defensive whatever, and he went over and talked to him. I'll tell you what else I've noticed. But Glenn definitely has been all over the place. Saleh just stood there and watched, and he deferred a lot of times to just his corners. I'll tell you who else has been somebody that I've been kind of noticing is Scott Turner. He's been with Engstrand a lot, and I think that's a good thing. I like the Scott Turner hire because he's got OC experience.
Yep. Him
and Engstrand have been around each other a lot, and I think he's a good guy to have around for Engstrand to kind of show him the ropes a bit. I know he's the pass game coordinator, but I think he's also labeled as like a senior assistant. He's been somebody that's been, I've noticed, just off to the side working with Engstrand a lot, which I think is good because he's got that previous experience.
You said they blitzed a lot. Is it the same guy? Is it a random anybody?
It's couple different. They've blitzed Cisco a couple times. Malachi Moore prior to the injury, he got some blitzes in some of the previous practices. Michael Carter was blitzed. Even some of the second and third team guys. Jordan Clark's blitzed a couple times. Dean Clark's blitzed a couple times. It's all the safety secondaries that they're not afraid to send those guys home.
Look at the it's like Afram's grilling you. He's not saying, he's not
asking questions. He was there.
Not even like a polite manner. He's like, yo, dude, give me my answers now. Let's go. See how pushy he is? Like how bossy he is.
Read your Twitter or whatever you want.
You guys just ask questions. I'm starting to hang out. Get Bubs. Answer after.
Put your hat down a little bit and take a nap.
Let's go. Let's just hang out. I'll be like V-Man. Just start ripping down friggin' rum. Go ahead, Bubs. You can answer after. This is
questions. I'm being nice. Am I being harsh on you?
A little aggressive.
Aggressive.
You know what it is though, Bubs. It's I got him mad about the salary cap stuff. Now he's got a little edge to him. Now he's all fired up.
Why would I take it out on Bubs?
That's a good question. Why are you taking it out on Bubs? That's what I want.
I'm not taking it out on Bubs.
It sure seems like you are, dude. The poor Bubs is trying to be a nice guy here. He's just this is craziness.
Yeah.
But this is what happens, Bubs, when he's a very popular man now. So now on Afterburners, he's got a whole other personality. Now he's got a whole shit he's got going on. This is what happens.
As I was saying, Bubs.
See how his tone. See his tone changed now. He knows.
How is the run defense, Bubs? Was that much better tone? Huh?
They've definitely had a lot of.
Was that more?
This is a family show, man. This is
very.
This is
what family?
She's exactly right, dude.
What family? I'd like to know what family talks.
This is the Man and Many podcast. It's crazy.
No, I mean, in terms of the run defense, I definitely think rushing wise, offensively, they've definitely been ahead of them. Like run defense or run blocking rather, I think's been definitely strong, and they've had their way so far. But not something that I'm concerned about. But the run game's had some success, and Quinnen prior to the injury had a couple. Not that this is surprising, but Quinnen had a couple run stops, and I've liked what I've seen from Cowher. He's made some plays as well. And Leonard Taylor trying to become more of that, not just pass rush abilities, but also be a little bit stronger against the run. We saw some of the pass rush fly off in his rookie year, but even last preseason, but the run defense continued to improve on that.
Here's a question. Here's a question for Afram. Since he's peppering you with questions. Let's put him under pressure a little bit and kind of calm this down a little bit. Afram, first preseason game this weekend.
Yes.
Do you play your starters at all?
Of course you do.
You play the starters
The whole first quarter.
Are you out of your mind?
Not one bit. Reps, and reps.
Bubs, your thoughts?
I mean, I think they'll play. I could see if he's healthy, maybe not now, but like Mason Taylor getting some opportunities just because, he's a rookie. But I think you're more so looking at Giants game after the joint practice to see Fields and all that.
I'd be shocked if they play the starters.
I grew up watching your first preseason game.
But that was 4 games, though.
It was more than 4 games, I think. You play the first quarter. Your next preseason game, you play the first half.
Yep.
The next preseason game, you play 3 quarters.
And the fourth one, you mail it in. Nobody plays.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you're taking one game away. So now you have only 3 games. Yeah. I'd be shocked, man. I don't like. Are you going to play your starting offensive line this weekend?
They need reps, dude. They need reps. They're going up against a team. They keep only going up against each other, right? I got something in my eye.
It's anger.
Anger in one eye.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think I honestly don't think they play. But I think, the joint practice next week, it's kind of Salah's approach, to be honest, because Salah was the same way. He put a premium on the joint practices over the preseason games. But I'm not sure I don't think they played.
Why won't you play them in the first preseason game?
I just don't think they do, man. I think it's going to be all the young kids, and maybe the second game, like he said, maybe the second game a quarter, and then the third game maybe a little bit more than that.
2 series in the first quarter?
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I mean, I wouldn't hate 2 series. But the other thing too is Tyrod's hurt. Like if Tyrod's out, all you have is Justin Fields.
You can play the 1 series.
You're gonna play Adrian Martinez and
freaking together in front of a team. You totally have no, a whole new team, a whole new defense you're going against. So.
This is a good question. I don't know, man. That's a Saturday night, dude. Saturday night be a good night to sit on the couch, drink some beers, and just sit and enjoy bad preseason football. Streaming
Brady took Adrian Martinez action.
The thing about preseason games, I've learned this last year. When we stream them, the first half is awesome because we're all excited. By the third quarter, the game just sucks. We don't know a player on the field. It's boring as hell. It's just it's a drag, man. It's a little bit tough watch.
Well.
What do you think, Afram? Should we stream Saturday?
That's up to you.
This is a question. This is a question for you.
No. That's up to you. This is your channel.
It's a legitimate question. Would you stream a preseason game, or would you sit on the couch and with the dog and have a snack and just watch it that way?
That's what I do. So I mean, if you're going to stream, you could stream the first half and then
we just want an answer. Hi, it's so fucking
hard
to get an answer.
It's up to you.
It's a simple yes or no question. I'm getting a fucking half-hour speech. Well, I watched this. I do yes or no.
Bubs, what would you do, Bubs?
I always like the stream, so
there you
any
go.
Stream's good, but
I'm with Bubs.
Well, yeah, I mean,
don't cry, man. It's not that serious.
I'm so happy to be on the show. That's the
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, man. Jeez.
You'll probably see some
I'm crying for joy.
Ontario Wilson third quarter targets.
Yeah, it's just so hard with him. It's like there's no exactly. He's a politician. Can't get a damn answer.
I would watch the game.
Okay, there's an answer.
Me.
See,
that was my answer, but you wanted something more.
Well, because you talked about okay, now we got a direct answer. Now took a little while, but it's fine. Do you have any expectations of the game? Is there anything you're looking for? Understanding that's gonna be a lot of second, third, and fourth string guys. Maybe guys want to be on the team. Is there any expectations for this game?
Just who's ever on the cusp of trying to make the team. I want to see these guys. These second and third tier guys. Who's going to step up? Because there's jobs open there.
100%.
There's a lot of jobs open.
Special teams, depth roles, a lot of guys, backup linemen.
I really like to see Tyler Johnson really step it up quite a bit.
You really focused on him a lot tonight.
I keep reading good things about him. He's just but like Bub says, it's just not consistent. But then again, how many reps is he getting? I know they're increasing the reps. He said this week.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson's been solid. I just think, is it going to be enough regular season time?
Yeah.
With a guy who throughout his career he's made it the most of his little opportunities, but
I mean,
Like you said, he's probably at number 3. He'll probably win the job.
I think he'll probably be. I think there's a good chance he does take over for Lazard.
If you're not hearing anything from Lazard, anything about Lazard,
well, I'm
does he
more
even make the team?
Him, I think he's going to make it because like they keep praising his blocking. I think they'll keep him for that. But like, I'm interested in like Stone Smart. Like I want to see Stone Smart. I want to see Rucker.
I hear good things about him too. Yeah. He's just a catcher. He doesn't know how to block. But
I mean, you can't have.
Did they use Andrew Beck at all, or is just one of those things where they just know he's going to do his job?
He's out there. He actually had a touchdown. I think the first practice I might have went to. I think there's a decent chance he stays in the team as a fullback. I mean, the Lions use the fullback, and if they're going to obviously run heavy team.
But wasn't that one of their first free agent signings too?
Yeah, they signed to the reserve futures contract back in February.
How long is Reynolds out?
They haven't said.
There's been no real updates. He's just limped off. I don't even think we got an update on what it is. It was just he limped off, and I don't think he was out there today
for the end zone. You know,
today's report bothered me the most, where Tyrod's hurt and Mason Taylor's hurt, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Tomorrow's press conference is gonna be interesting. That's 2 things you don't want to see. You know,
supposedly Tyrod was in uniform, but he just wasn't practicing. Mason Taylor, I don't think was out there at all.
But that's also Parcells' thing too, though.
Yeah,
Parcells is like, if you're injured, you still dress up for practice. Like you don't just sit in like t-shirt and shorts, like hang out like you're like after him at the beach. No, you got to dress like a football player.
Simpson is out for his back, but he said that's just for precautionary. Just
ignore me now.
Why do I even come out anymore? I mean,
because you're a celebrity, dude.
I'm not a celebrity. I just like talking about the Jets. But,
your stock rises every week.
Thank God you invited Bubs because
no, it's like your promotional.
If it was just
tour.
me and you, it would have been conflict.
No conflict. It's just we aim for accuracy here. I mean, it's not too much to ask.
When are you going to start?
I've been accurate. I ask accurate questions. I get bad answers. It's all right, Bubs. All we can do is ask the questions. We can't control the content.
You're gonna chase him away. You're gonna come every Monday by yourself here.
How am I chasing him away? I'm protecting him from you.
I can't deal with this crap.
You tried to bully him. I protected him.
I'm not bullying him.
You bullied him. I protected him.
Questions.
I 100% protected him. 100% protected him. You can see him. He's a nice guy, dude. He didn't want to say.
He's very good at what he does.
He is
very knowledgeable.
So stop screwing with him. Look at him. See
what I got to go through.
His eyes just start tearing again now. He's all.
I don't know
rage.
what's going on. It's just burning. So,
yeah,
gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. Especially you, Bubs. I know it's know what you have to deal with, but
I'm nothing but kind, considerate.
I look forward to next Monday because I'm sure you'll be on next Monday to hear your takes again.
Well, we're gonna recap the game.
And hopefully we have a lot of positive news.
And you're going to see it. See
you Thursday, Armand.
Yes. It's one big promotional tour for Afram. That's all this is.
That's it. Yeah. It's my 2025 tour.
Have a good night, man.
You too. Be well.
See, aren't you glad I protected you, man? See that it's not easy. Christy Marie's firing off all cylinders tonight. Let's see. Sorry I couldn't make it into fellas. This torn labrum. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, Chris, we'll be around all the time, man. So we're going to call in. Bubs gave a good hour breakdown. Are you going to joint practice?
I'd love to. I think it's the season ticket holder only, so I wasn't able to. Obviously, just able to get the public practices, but that one, obviously, I'm not season tickets, but I'd love to go.
Let me see what I can do.
Are you? You're going to the one at Jets, right? Because I know the one.
I'd go to either one. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know. I thought about trying to get to both, get to the one at Giants as well, but I didn't end up doing it. It's quite a hike up there because you're basically going to the stadium. Jets is obviously so much easier.
Where do you live?
I'm over in Central Jersey, Somerset. So
I work at Somerset.
Yeah, I'm only 35 minutes from Florham, but got to take the turnpike and all that at that time of the day up to MetLife is a little bit more difficult. So, and plus I just, it's a home training camp practice as opposed to going on the road there. So
let me see what I can work out, dude. Let's see if I can get them.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I definitely do a joint practice. All right. So now we go one more caller.
They're a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, I love my dude.
They're-
The best practices to go to, hands down. It's not
Yeah.
even close. You can
100%.
watch the difference the way the teams the way they warm up, the way they do the drills, the intensity, the way the coaches handle them with all the chaos. There's so you could see the coaching differences side by side, right? Like I saw it with Salah, and I was like, and the one guy sitting next to me, he's like, bro, he goes, you're so negative. I'm like, bro, there's so many alarming things here that we're going to ignore because we think this team is great, and there's just alarming shit going on.
Yeah. I'll never forget the Jets Bucks joint practice during Hard Knocks and walking away from that. Just you can walk away from the joint practices with so many big takeaways.
Yep.
The offensive line was a disaster that day. And I remember walking away and I was like, I have no clue. And I'm not the one to overreact to practices in June or July and August, but you were like, I have no clue how in the world they're going to keep this guy upright for 17 games. And obviously we know what happened, but then you had the 13 different offensive line combinations. And sure enough, what you saw that day is the story of the season.
But you can see, because you figure the joint practice, these teams are tired of hitting each other. So now they finally get somebody new to beat up on. So dude, the intensity and the physicality and all that is on full display. And when you're getting manhandled and pushed around, and you're like, this isn't good. Like you can just see it, and you're like, or you see teams wavering back up and like not back up their teammates, or all this, or the coaches kind of not being like, some coaches are very hands-on, some are very backed off, and like have no control. You could see all of it like globally, and then you're looking at it and you're like, all right, mental note on this because this isn't a good sign. So I can't wait. I love that. My favorite joint practices of all time. And then literally pretty much every time we had takeaways from joint practice, it pretty much early on in the season played out kind of what we thought was going to happen to, which is sad, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's been the case for a while.
Grumpy old Jets fan. What's up, man?
Hey guys, if it's a little noisy, I apologize. I got house guests. Just thinking about all the things going on, I agree with Bub about a lot of things. I saw Scott Turner talking to Engstrand a lot, which made me happy because Turner, if he's picked up anything from the old man, it's invaluable. It really is.
I'm surprised. To cut you off, I'm surprised this old man hasn't been in the facility yet. Hasn't been at practices yet.
I was kind of surprised too. I also didn't hear much about when Westhoff was there. I didn't hear anything from anybody about seeing a big presence or something. So I don't really know what happened with that. I was there on the 31st. I couldn't go this weekend. Couldn't get tickets for this weekend. Interesting. Everybody's panicking about Fields and they're panicking about how bad or good the offense has looked. And it's still very early. I mean, I saw things that I was a little bit concerned about. I saw on a 7-on-7 drill with no pressure, they weren't really coming in. It was just a 7-on-7 and Fields, they were trying to do like end zone passes, like touch passes to the corner and stuff. And he was having trouble. I mean, just with no pressure on him, he was having trouble. And that kind of concerned me. Again, trouble. And the other thing is, they're forcing him to be a quarterback.
Having trouble meaning in terms of accuracy, completing the
pass? His accuracy, it was basically his throwing, the accuracy was really off. He'd overthrow it, underthrow it. And that kind of worried me because these weren't like difficult situations. Right. He wasn't under pressure and stuff. And again, I take it with a grain of salt because of when it is training camp. Things are very different there, but it's a relatively easy thing. I sitting there and watching it. I don't think Fields is horrible. I just think he's really inconsistent right now. Now it's good that it's very early. Yeah. But some of the things about that kind of concern me. Like I would really expect him to be bad and then all of a sudden slowly improve. Yep. And he's been up and down. I don't know how you felt, Bubs. You were there on the Saturday, and it was probably even more with the Green and White Scrimmage. It was probably even more evident than what I saw.
Yeah, it's choppy. It's the legs are obviously such a big factor, but there's been feels like I said, the one Tyler Johnson route, he just missed them, but it felt like it was some sort of miscommunication between the two or whatever. And then there's a couple plays where just nobody's open, or at least it seems that way. He's had to throw the ball away. But to your point, at the 31st, I think I remember hearing he was only like 1 of 4 in that 7-on-7 drill, or 1 of 5.
He wasn't very good. And that really, I said, because it was no pressure. Yeah. On the other one, he did make some good throws. I mean, I'm not going to say he can't. He's got a decent arm and stuff, but he hasn't put it all together. Now, I will say that also, if you think about it, what they're doing in the training camp right now, or in in preseason here, they're trying to force him to be a quarterback. Basically, they're saying, look, don't run as much. He's not. And basically, they're trying to get that down and nail it. And Glenn said that. He said they want him to be a quarterback. And he's going through growing pains with it because, quite honestly, his first years in the NFL, he was relying on his legs.
Yep.
And now he's forcing it. And it's not a bad thing because I would expect this. I would expect the inconsistency because he hasn't been in that mindset.
Well, he's also got to establish chemistry. He's got to learn the playbook. He's got to learn the routes, the timing. There's a lot of different facets. So I agree with you. They're putting a lot on his plate. But I think you'd rather, I guess, if he runs now, he's not going to develop anything in the passing game. So it's
exactly. I would rather see that than have him run 3 touchdowns. I mean,
because the thing is, like, he could be to win a practice by scoring 5 rushing touchdowns serves no purpose for him. But if he can learn how to pass better, become more efficient at passing game, and then he has to use his crutch as a runner in the regular season, cool. But at least he worked as a passer, and that's what training camp's for, dude. To work as a passer now and get through all this shit.
And that's my other thought on the Jets training camp is, the intensity. I've talked about it before. The intensity was there even without pads, and with pads, it was definitely there. I saw hitting there. I saw one play. Garrett Wilson got hit. I thought he was going to get hurt. I mean, he got hit hard. He got up. He was fine, and they weren't mad at each other. Whatever. It was a really good hit, and I think that told me a lot about what they're doing.
I love it. Great.
When it's intense. And that's the other thing. This is under intensity. They're not fooling around here. I often wondered if Salah's training camp, I went to all his training camps, except for the one with 2023. I couldn't get tickets because of Rodgers. But basically every one I went to, it almost looked like it was scripted. It was almost looked like setting the players up to succeed. If that makes, in other words, to make it look good.
Yep.
Like WWE or something.
Dude, that's totally agree. It drove me crazy. And the thing is, I keep because I tell you, I went to the Parcells practices. I went to every coach's practice throughout all these years, and the solid practices piss me off because there's no on and off switch with intensity. The tone you set in practice, they carry out through the entire practice.
Yep.
You start off soft and timid, and like, okay, play hard now. They're not going to do that. You have to have that energy all the time, and that's your muscle memory. That's when you get on the field. I have this approach. You don't go back and forth with it. And too many times they were complacent as shit. We would sit at practice. I'm like, what are they doing? It was like this is too even keeled, too, like everybody walking around and no sense of urgency, doing drills that made no fucking sense. You're like, this is awful. But it's like, oh, they have so much talent. It's like, trust us because we have a veteran team, like we know all this shit. No, they need this. They need the structure. They need the mindset.
And you've got to keep it up. And that's the thing we talked about before. I made a comment, that it's like they're saving something that Sal always seemed to be saying, let's save it for the regular season. You can't.
No.
You've got it because this is where you build your stamina. This is where you build everything.
It's where you build your habits.
And I'm really happy to hear that Glenn is extending the practices. Apparently, they're going much later now. They were cutting it off because I was surprised. They cut it off like it started at 8:30 and they cut it off at 10 o'clock on the 31st. And now they're extending it out because, again, they've got to get ready for game conditions.
Yep.
One of the things I really agree with Afram about, I totally agree with him about the preseason. I realize people are like, well, why do you want to put him in? They're going to get hurt. You know what? I think, first of all, I honestly think by lacking reps in preseason, I think they're leading to more injuries.
Yep, I agree.
I honestly feel that way. It's the same way I think the biggest disaster in NFL history was the 2013 CBA that cut down practices and stuff. I think it's one of the reasons you're getting all these non-contact injuries and everything else.
Well, it's also the first 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks of the season, shit football. It's like preseason football because none of the teams have chemistry. It's gross. And then as the season plays out, everybody separates the real good teams because these guys they're in shape, but not that game shape. They don't have that rhythm, right? The preseason cutting it back on all the new rules makes the first 3 weeks of the season just awful. It's bad football.
And I think
to watch,
that's why he needs to. I mean, I'm really hoping Glenn does. I mean, he said he'll let us know later this week. I don't know if he will or not. It's to get in sync. It's game conditions are game conditions. I don't care how much you simulate it in practice. Yeah, you're playing against your own defense, but it's still different. Joint practices, as good as they can be, it's not the same thing to me. It's really not. And I think you're under game conditions with game reps, there's no softness there. In joint practices, they still have the quarterback's red shirt, right? They don't allow tackling.
Yep.
So right there in there, you've got a big difference.
Yep.
It's a huge difference. So you need to do it. And I think this is a team that's coming together. Obviously in preseason, they don't use the full playbook. They don't in the open practices. Nobody in his right mind is going to show you all their plays. The stuff I saw was very vanilla. I saw the pre-snap. I saw some of the
Yeah, but a lot of times in the joint practices, they tell you what they're going to call. Like they say the Giants will say, "Listen, can you please call these play calls on offense so our defense can work against it?" They work hand in hand. So they're not going to surprise you. They kind of know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, again, looking at the overall team, the other thing is when you're playing, the other problem with this is in practice, you have the offense playing against the defense, which is great. But the problem is the offense does well. Is the offense playing well and they beat a good defense, or is the defense falling on its you know what? Same thing the other way around. 100%. Is it a bad offense, or is the defense playing lights out? It's hard. You can't necessarily tell that. I mean, maybe I'm not good enough. It's possible. I'm no analyst.
Yep.
But watching the overall tempo, and honestly, what I really think about this year is, guys, you have to go into this with the attitude. It's going to be a learning experience. Is Fields going to be a superstar? I tend to doubt it. But will he come in there and do better? Will he do good enough? I think he can. You know what? I think we can have some fun with him. And with his running, if they go to things like RPO and play action, it can help because I think he'll feel a lot more comfortable with that.
One second. This has nothing to do with me, man. The guy got a new job. Like, it's nothing to do with me. Like, listen, I work. I do shows, man. If he wants to come on, he can. He's busy. He's busy. There's nothing to do with me, man.
He gets home late, guys. He's told me that. He gets home
it's funny.
late.
Like, it's like everybody. He's fine. Like, I just do content, man.
Yeah. And like a final comment, one thing I really want to see, looking at the running backs, I totally agree that the running backs look really, really good. Davis looked good. Davis is interesting. He's a hybrid. He's not the same as either one of them. He's somewhere in the middle of those two of Breeze and Allen. I think they've got a really good thing. They could do a lot of fun with them with gadget plays and stuff like that. The other thing is I really want to see them I really hope they do dual back sets. First of all, to help pass block. But secondly, you can really fuck with the defense's head with that. You can send one of them out. You can do all kinds, make it look like he's blocking. And then
we saw that last year. We saw them do it last year with Braylon and Breeze. It worked. They took them both. They took it out. They stopped doing it.
Yeah, they stopped doing it. I mean, I'm hoping. And again, Glenn's smart enough. Look, the man is smart enough. He knows. I have enough trust in him. He's not an idiot. He understands the offense, and he knows what value that is. As a defender, he knew that.
Yep.
He understood that a two-back set can screw up a defense. The last comment, looking at his press conference, I like the way he's handling himself. I mean, Ian was very impressed by his last press conference, Ian over at Jet Central. And I thought so too. One thing that was interesting when he was sitting there saying, well, Ian said that Glenn always answers questions. It's not like Salah with his, I'll look at the film or I didn't see that or I don't know or whatever the hell it was. He always had an answer. The real question is, though, can he translate it? When he's sitting there talking about, we've got issues, like this guy played really well, but we got issues. Well, okay. Can you translate that?
Yep.
Because otherwise it's still just words. He's great. And I have a lot of trust in Glenn. At this point, I have to have it with him.
See, the thing about Aaron Glenn, he's very detail oriented. Like you can ask him a question about a specific player, offense, defense, special teams.
And he knows.
He gives you the answer, the strengths, the weaknesses, and what they have to work on to every player or a scheme or like he comes off very intelligent and very prepared. Like, listen, I know what's going on. I have a pulse to the team. I know what's going on. This is not pretty now. We're going to fix it. It's just so different, dude. It's detail oriented, and you can tell he's actively involved in it.
And the other thing is going to be holding coaches accountable, which I think he's going to do. I saw him yelling. I've seen him yell at Angster, and I saw him yell at a number of coaches in the practices I was at. Not yell at them, but talk to them and go over what the hell's going on. So hopefully that culture is there. Again, it's going to come down to, I think with the personnel the Jets have, they've got a pretty good team. Can they get it to click? And can they get the quarterback to click enough that if they have a good defense, they can stay in there? And you know what? I think there's a good chance they can. It's still very, very early.
Yep.
We're only a couple of weeks into training camp.
No, I agree.
And so, I think Jets fans love to panic. It's the best time of year. Jets fans like to panic. Let's get so we should have kept Aaron Rodgers. You know what? They kept Aaron Rodgers. It would have been a disaster because Rodgers would be doing his own thing, freestyling off of, and he'd be totally breaking whatever Glenn wanted to do. And I think the players know that. I honestly think they know that.
No, it's a different culture, dude. They're all talking about teamwork, hard work, preparation, everything else. So, dude, thanks for calling in, man. We definitely appreciate it.
It's getting late.
It is. Have a good night, man.
Take care, guys.
He got a new job, man. He works for V Friends. He works for Gary V with Jay and those guys. So he does card breaks and live streams and all kinds of shit. He's done all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there's nothing to do with me, man. I'm innocent here. All I do is I just show up and do shows. Bubs kind of do with me. I enjoy doing it. So Nothing to do with me. I'm out of this. So, Bubs, any I replaced my Well, speaking of Ian, I'll be on his show tomorrow night, 7:00. So your expectations for Saturday, man? Anything you're looking for in particular?
No, I mean just the roster battles, the depth guys. If any of the rookies play, obviously look to see what they could do. Some of these guys that I think have had pretty good camps so far. I think you'll see some Pritchett on Saturday. Probably see some Arian Smith, maybe You'll probably see Corley.
I'm hoping
Some of
a lot
those
of Aaron
receivers.
Smith.
So yeah. Brandon Smith as well has had a pretty solid camp. He's somebody else that might challenge to make that final spot. So any of the receivers, can you see any of those guys stick out in a game?
Yep.
Gibson, Pritchett, although I think Gibson with the shoulder, he'll be out, so he won't actually play. But Pritchett from a kick returning, punt returning, all that stuff, mainly punt returning for him. Kanena Nwangu from a punt returning or kick returning rather. So some of the special team stuff. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, interior defensive line, if J. Tufele plays, you'll see if Cowart or any of those guys play, but maybe Rashad Weaver plays any of those guys, just see what they look like. That's about it. I don't think any of the main running backs will play.
No. Could be a showcase game for
Ruckert,
Donovan
Stone
Edwards.
Smart. Yeah, could be for Donovan Edwards. Ruckert and Stone Smart, that'll be a big one. Especially Ruckert. Can he now go out there in a game and put together a couple, drives or a couple catches in a row? Can he show some receiving upside? And Stone Smart, who's I think has had a pretty kind of underrated summer, especially recently. Can he show you something? So that's the main stuff to look for.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, there's so many young players fighting for positions, fighting for playing time. So you can check it all out. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
These guys are funny with this Kevin shit. You guys are crazy, man. But Bubs, again, tell everybody where they can find you, where your content is, everything else.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you having me on again. Love doing this. It's always a lot of fun. Just over on Bubs on Sports here on YouTube. All Jets content there. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during training camp, we do player previews. So that gets up on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. 2 players in each of those episodes, just kind of player profile, projection, breakdown, what they did last year, what to expect from them this season. And then, recaps after the practices. Once the season starts, obviously all the game stuff, recaps, previews, all that good stuff. And then I also write for the J Press, so about weekly articles. So look out for that as well.
You're a machine.
With the season ramping up, definitely exciting. So,
well, again, Bubs, thanks again. I definitely appreciate it. I'll work on joint practice tickets so I can get those.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got the game this Saturday. If you want to come on Monday and talk about it, we can do that too. Whatever you want to do, let me know. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's kind of like a weird time where it's like scrimmage, but not a lot of news, no practice today. So, or not like a big practice everybody talk about. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll do it again next week.
J-E-T-S,